This episode of Capes and Lunatics is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
I know, I usually do this big intro, this big rigmarole, but I mean, it's San Diego Comic-Con weekend. We've got a special guest. Still waiting for Charlie to wake up and get here, but let's get to it. Capes and Lunatics, episode 114. There you go, Lil. Starts right now.
This episode of
right now. Hello, welcome to the Capes and Lunatics. I am Phil. Like I said, Charlie should be along soon. Lilith is probably working through her hangover in San Diego, but as I promised last week, we got a special guest all the way from Australia. That's right, it's not a Skrull accent. It's Ray from Into the Night.
Hey, how you going, Phil? I'm very, very happy to be here. Happy to talk about, man, it's a big weekend, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It seems like it's always big anymore, because just, like, there's movie stars there not anymore, and...
Oh, there aren't anymore?
No, there are.
Oh, there are, yeah.
Because, that's one of the stories I saw was, I guess, Tom Cruise showed up and dropped, like, the Top Gun sequel trailer or whatever.
That's right. I've seen that, actually. That's been on our telly just recently as well. Top Gun, Maverick, it's called, right?
Yeah. That's like... Yeah, because, like, the original was, from the 80s, and now he's like, let's do a sequel.
It would have to be, like, the longest time taken for a sequel to come out, right?
I don't know. It seems to me that they were doing a sequel. What else were they doing a sequel to that was in the 80s? I swear there's other movies.
The only other one I could think of is Finding Dory. Is it Finding Nemo and then Finding Dory, right? That's a long one.
As long as that. But maybe those Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. But
yeah,
we can talk about that.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, I'm very, very pumped to be here, Phil. This is great. Always fun to talk comics, TV, movies, and of course, San Diego. Your finger would be on the pulse more so than I. I'm from a mudball down under, so we don't get the news that often.
Yeah, but I mean, you're so far ahead. You're from the future. You should. That's how it ends. Yeah.
Of course.
Before Charlie gets here, because I know he doesn't look at any of this stuff. I think you guys were talking about it on Into the Night. I got my son, because it came out yesterday, that Marvel Alliance 3 for the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, man. Yeah, really?
It looks awesome. Yeah, because...
Yeah.
Did I see like Moon Knight's a downloadable character or something?
Yeah, I'm not a gamer. My co-host Connor from Last Sons of Krypton, the Superman podcast we do, shameless plug. He bought the game like yesterday or today, and he was telling me, DLC. I don't know what that's a downloadable pack or something. Is that right? Or
maybe, yeah. I don't know if you have to pay extra for that, but
yeah, but Moon Knight's been released, been announced along with Punisher, Morbius, and Blade. And at least 3 of those 4, a lot of these gamers have been asking, going, where the hell is Punisher? Where the hell is Blade? So it's kind of answered that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just watching a little bit while he was playing last night, and my wife was playing with him. I mean, it looked pretty cool. I mean, I saw some Daredevil, Spider-Gwen, Miss Marvel. I know he said he had already unlocked all the Guardians of the Galaxy.
What I understood, I think you have to play as the Guardians. I think that's an automatically. I don't know. I'm not too much into it.
I think that's how you start it.
Yeah. Are you going to create a profile of your own, Phil? Maybe while the Wii one is asleep, maybe bung it on.
I might do that. I might do that because I know my wife plays it sometimes when he, when he's on there. But yeah,
cool. Who would yours? Bung it on. Yeah, slough it on. Who would your team members be? I think there's 4, right? You got to pick 4.
I think, yeah. Well, I was already looking online. I was like, where can you find Moon Knight? I'm like, is there a way to like just like find Moon Knight or something?
Yeah,
probably Moon Knight, one of the Spider characters. I mean, Punisher.
Quasar.
Yeah, Quasar. Yeah, they have like Quasar in one of those. I think it's one. We have it's one of those Marvel Lego games.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Hey, Charlie.
Hello.
Hey, Charlie.
And welcome.
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
I'm doing just fine. Glad to see you, Ronaldo.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Likewise as well, Charlie, the professor.
Yes, that's what they call me. Charlie the Professor Esser. Well, I call myself that, and other people just feel obliged to add the honorific.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking.
All you need.
We were just talking video games, but then we were talking about like movies because we were talking about now celebrities go to Comic-Con and drop their trailers and stuff. Like, did you see Tom Cruise drop the trailer to the sequel to Top Gun?
Okay. I'm sure Admiral Maverick is doing just fine because at this point he's in his like 50s, so he's got.
Yeah. Well, that's what we were saying. The first one was in the 80s, so it's been like 30 years at least.
Yeah. So if he spent that long in the Air Force, I'm sure he's gained a respectable rank.
Yeah.
He probably shouldn't be flying anymore. That's a young man's game,
Yeah. Oh well, how evergreen is he though? He looks exactly the same.
The fact that he made a deal with the devil is not the exchequer's concern in the Air Force. Regulations say you can fly from 23 to 25, and now you missed it, dude. Yeah,
I reckon questions have got to be asked. Yeah, exactly. I think there's been some sort of supernatural deal handed out to Tom Cruise.
Well, yeah, I mean, when he's say it like that, watch, he'll be like, it's been 30 years since the last movie, but he'll be like, it's been 5 years since I flew that last.
You can't do sliding time in movies. And no, what it is, I mean, I'm sure with him is that it is as Bugs Bunny would say, it's clean living. Because I'm sure he eats right and exercises often, and probably there are people on staff to keep everything tight and where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Just like Dolly Parton, man. I mean, she's like twice as old. She still looks pretty hot.
She's
no argument.
She's taking care of herself pretty well. Paul Rudd as well. I've just noticed there have been a few memes going out. You know how there's a whole face app.
Oh yeah,
aging themselves, and they've got Paul Rudd just looking exactly the same.
I know, they're like, Paul Rudd's picture through the old man thing, and it looks the same.
Yeah, well, it's like if you really would like to give some and here's the thing, it's not even just a Russian company; it's just a random company, that says, "Hey, would you like access to all of my Facebook data?" It's like, okay, and that's the thing. Anytime you do, this is why I always like, nobody reads the terms of service. It's like anytime, like, which Avengers character are you? And they say, we have the right to now go through your entire Facebook history, every post you've ever paid, and we're going to find the one that's just like you of the 5 that we have that could have just as easily been randomly assigned, but we're going to make it scientific, so we're going to go in. So it's like, don't do those things, kids. It's not good for you.
It's all about just looking for that tick box, just ticking it and agreeing. That's what.
Well, I mean, well, obviously everything's all about making the money on it, but
true.
Yeah, in this case, it's just the fact that it was a Russian company now, because now we're very xenophobic. Even the Democrats are very xenophobic. Just who are you xenophobic against? Are you xenophobic against South Americans, or are you xenophobic against Russians? But we're all xenophobes now. It's a crazy world. Really.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. I just don't trust those things anymore.
Yeah, well, I've never trusted them. I am the man with the tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
shouting on the street. Now, you fools, you see.
Get off my lawn. All right. Well, I got my Marvel nerds here, so I saw a couple items of Marvel news, I guess, came out already at Con, but Charlie, I know I sent you the link. Ray, did you see, I guess, Doctor Doom is getting another ongoing series?
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, is that called The Crack of Doom? Is that the one?
I don't know. I think they just said Doctor Doom, so I don't know if they have a fancy title or not. But yeah,
it needs no other title. For Doom is all that you need to know.
That is.
I love this. I love this as a premise, actually, because the actual premise puts Doom in the Reed Richards seat.
Okay.
Where essentially the premise is that, the big international effort to make the Large Hadron Collider, or, the MacGuffin Collider, is going to try and create a mini black hole. And Dr. Doom is filled with nightmares about, oh, gee, he's filled with nightmares. I wonder who else might show up in this series.
Yeah.
Filled with nightmares about how this could either save the world or destroy the world. And he's railing against it. It's the world must not do this. You are not Doom. You cannot possibly create a mini black hole. It's dude, we live in a super science world. Pretty much anyone can do this stuff that you and Reed have already done. You know? And so they're building this super collider, and all of a sudden there's an accident. Thousands of people die. Everyone assumes it must have been that villain, Dr. Doom. Now he must go on the run, survived by his witch, yada, yada, yada. Classic take everything away from him story so that he can build himself back up to be Lord of Latveria once again.
Is there going to be any reading between the lines here, with Doom having a series released? Does that mean anything by way of TV or movies?
Well, I mean, they have the rights now. So, and we see this with the X-Men. Where we're getting our Hickmanic Bible on the X-Men now. He'd already written one for the Fantastic Four. He's writing one for the X-Men. So that is going to be our coda going forward. We're also, interestingly enough, getting that entire Marvel Universe Bible in the history of the Marvel Universe coming up.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to get a lot of Doom backstory that will now be official canon. Sort of like how, one random writer decides this is the Joker's origin. Now that's going to be the Joker's origin forever. And if you deviate from that origin we liked, everyone's going to be like, no, that's not right. It's but there were 6 other origins before that. And, it's no, that's the one we liked.
Yeah. He's been... Sorry?
Please. No, I hog the conversation. Don't mind me.
That's all right. I was about to say that Doom is handled pretty well in the current run by Dan Slott in the Fantastic Four. He's still hanging around, I think, in the new arc coming up as well. So he's proving to be quite popular. I'm loving the Fantastic Four comic book at the moment. I don't know about you guys, if you guys are reading it, but it'd probably have to be one of my top books to read, I think, at the moment.
I do love it. I especially love that they pantsed Doom on national TV. That to me is the most. First off, and Sue did it, but that was the most Johnny Storm thing ever done in a Fantastic Four thing. But of course, it's exactly how you get to Doom. Is your pants the guy? And it's they could just we'll show your face to the world. Everyone will see how hideous. No. Total.
This is my face. No. He does get to that scenario. God, what's her name? He's Acolyte now.
Yes. It's Victoria. Is it
Victorious.
Victorious.
Yeah.
Victorious. Yes.
Yeah. He gets his hands dirty. He starts, tilling the land with them, and takes all his armor off. But I like it how he kept his mask.
Well, yeah. Well, what I will say about Doom is that Hickman got a great reimagining in the Secret Wars story, where you get this idea of, yes, he is every bit the sociopathic scientist that he always was, but he does have this. It's your classic. This is for the good of humanity. I was actually listening to a story recently about it was on Science Friday about which is a great book out, and I can't remember the name, but it was something Bastards. It's not Inglourious Bastards, but it was, the Brotherhood of Bastards something like that. But, about this covert secret op to sort of destroy the, German science apparatchik, during World War II, so that they couldn't build the bomb, because they all thought that the Germans were so close to building a bomb, because Heisenberg, who actually winds up working on the German uranium club, actually, like in 1941, sketched out an atom bomb for Niels Bohr and gave it to Niels Bohr, who then took it to the Manhattan Project. And they were like, this is actually way advanced. And they really thought that Heisenberg was going to just give the Germans the bomb. In Heisenberg's view of the world, it's like, I don't care if the Germans have the bomb or whoever. I just want to build nuclear reactors and save the world. You know, that this is who's funding me. And same way that they kind of cast von Braun every so often is, look, I just want to get to the moon, and these are the people that want to fund me. Although at the same time, they're all engaging in horrific actions that do not redeem them at the end, because they are, in fact, supervillains. If you ever wonder where that trope of the European supervillain comes from, it's from guys like von Braun and Heisenberg, who were more than happy to commit atrocities to advance science. And that is, you know, and that is just the interesting thing there. But, yeah, and that is who Dr. Doom is. He is a guy, he says it's about advancing science, but he doesn't care how many people have to die to advance science or to advance humanity. And, you know, that's a good way to see Doom. In his mind, he's the hero, but in truth, he's like Otto, except without the redemption arc. Yeah.
No, absolutely. There's a lot more, you can empathize, I guess, to a sense, with him more so than, say, your Magneto, whose driving factor is, you know, he wants to, well, you know, he's obviously proud of his race, but he wants to wipe out everyone else. With Doom, you get more of a empathy, the fact that you understand that he is doing this for furthering the knowledge and, you know, for science. But unfortunately, there's a lot of collateral that potentially comes with that.
Well, yeah. And of course, with Magneto, I mean, Magneto is your classic, you know, complex tale of the person who has suffered greatly under one person and then repeats all the mistakes of the regime in which they suffered under.
Yeah,
you know, he is
very good.
You know, and this is, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things you can say in modern political ideals and ideologies where you know, people, they suffer in one hand, and then once they've managed to rise above that suffering, they go and engage in further suffering for other people, because the idea is we shouldn't want anyone to suffer, and that's the heroic ideal, is that we want to actually make the world better for all people. And it's sort of like, you know, in Endgame where Cap says to Vision, you know, we don't trade lives. You know, this isn't something we do. We're not going to make it, we're not going to say you have to die so that everyone else can live, because as noble of an idea as that is, it isn't the way we do things. Now, your classic trolley problem issue, and which people have actually solved, and I solved, and it's been solved on The Good Place, is that, you know, the answer is you don't push someone else, you don't kill someone else to save people. If you need to save people, you kill yourself. And so if Vision wants to be truly noble, he rips the stone out of his own head at that point. And then it's like, fine, you know, and that solves the problem. And then we can try and repair Vision at that stage after we destroy the stone. So, but anyway, that's a whole, this is the moral quandary of comic books. But if you want to be a hero, you can't go killing people. You just can't. It's not how you be a hero.
Well, you tell Frank Castle that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, he's not a hero.
No, he isn't.
You know, he isn't. Even when he saves people's lives, it's at the cost of lots of other people's lives.
Oh yeah, he never views himself as a hero. He never sees himself as one.
Yeah, exactly. He's a soldier, and that is the difference between a soldier and a hero.
Yeah.
And what makes you a Captain America is you're a heroic soldier, where, yes, I kill people, but that is not my raison d'etre. I am going to kill people when it needs to be, because I'm a soldier.
Yeah.
But if I can find a way out of this without killing someone, I'm going to find that way, or I'm going to die trying.
But it reminded me when Ray was talking about the X-Men. Like, Ray, are you going to be reading that Powers of X and House of X?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen. Jonathan Hickman,
Yeah, I'm excited. I hope it's good. I'm hoping he doesn't drop the ball on that. But like, I saw the solicit. It says something like, Xavier has this master plan to bring the mutants back into the light and like all visible again. Meanwhile, if you look at like the solicits, everyone, including him, is like wearing a mask or a helmet or something on their face.
Right.
And I'm just like, okay, they're more visible, but now everyone, including like Jean Grey, is wearing one of her old costumes. Everyone's like masked.
It's all very mysterious, isn't it? I don't know too much about what's going to be revealed. They've been dropping a few of the ads. There's those panels with Xavier and I think it's Jean Grey. I don't know where it's like these panels are the most. Will have the most ramifications. Yeah. And he just showing Professor X kind of surprised. You have no idea what it means. But I guess it's getting all our curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, this was the original idea behind the X-Men. And yes, they wore masks, but the idea was if we become heroes, and they kind of retconned this into the Fantastic Four's origin. A few years ago, where it was like, after that Reed Richards said, after I turned my family into monsters, the only thing I could do was to go to the highest building, go to a building in the middle of New York City in the hub of media and put ourselves up as the heroes of the earth, because if we hid in the shadows, we would have been hated. But because we went out and made ourselves, we're the heroes, and look at our amazing powers, and did all that stuff, just like Spider-Man does, that's what kept them from being hated like the mutants, And the mutants, of course, hidden their secret away. And of course, to that extent, that's why the Fantastic Four didn't wear masks.
Yeah.
Whereas the X-Men did.
It's very interesting. I'd really love to read the older, like the original FF stuff, because, exactly as you pointed out, Charlie, how did they, they got away with it by doing that, and I'm sure, other things, but you'd imagine that the greater public would be scared at, especially like the look of the Thing and Human Torch and all that. It's surprising that they weren't discriminated against more.
Well, actually, in the early books, they were.
They were? Okay.
Oh, yeah, the Army arrests them. They have cells built for them that are special cells because the Army sees them as, just like the Hulk. They see them as a threat. It's only because Reed Richards pushes that publicity of saving the world that they get out of it. It's important to remember that, when the Fantastic Four was first written, Marvel did horror books. And Kirby, of course, was the king of horror books. Mm-hmm. And that's, arguably that's why Stan did it. Actually, he was just like the only guy that was still working there. But, he was also, a master of the work. But, they wanted to have a story that, okay, we have to switch this back to horror. We can just flip a switch. It's not going to be that hard. No. And the idea of putting a monster on the team, it's that entire idea of being within that world of the horror comics. And, that's what they were trying to do. And now, and this is what I say, like when I say, oh, that idea that Reed did that so that they wouldn't be hated, that is a relatively new reveal. That was actually just after Valeria was born, and when she's still a baby and he tells her that story. Yeah. It's brilliant because it does show how manipulative Reed Richards is.
Oh yeah.
Well, those early Fantastic Four stories. Remember who was writing those too? I mean, Stan could spin anything.
Exactly.
And to Stanley's, Stanley loved the idea. I mean, Stanley probably even more than Steve Ditko loved the idea of the Ubermensch. Stanley just thought that the Ubermensch might want to have friends, and that is the idea of Reed Richards. Is he's an Ubermensch who has friends. Yeah, he's the smartest guy in the room. He's the best at everything he does. He is your classic Mary Sue, as they say. But at the same time, he wants to have this support team. He wants a girlfriend. He wants a kid brother and a best friend, He wants all of these people in his life because he knows the only way you survive anything in this world, even if you are the smartest man in the room, is you have a support team. You have people who compliment you. And Dr. Doom is the evil opposite because, of course, yes, he is the smartest man in the room, but has no support team.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't have anyone really close to.
Yeah, I mean, the main concept for Fantastic Four was the whole family, the idea of family, and that thread runs through. Even now, Dan Slott is very, he pays a lot of reverence to that, and it creates a real particular flavour to the comics, which I find is so, it's really, I mean, if you compare it to, there's not many other comics in Marvel, at least, that you can compare it to, where it's so family-based, and Dan Slott does, I think, a great job in having those dynamics of husband and wife, of brother and sister, of man and best mate, and all that sort of stuff. It's really cool.
Well, exactly. And I do think that is 100% what makes the Fantastic Four, even in their slumps. The Fantastic Four are like Superman in that, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. But the fact of the matter is the idea of these characters survive because they do reach beyond just the individual issues. And and that idea of the family of superheroes rather than a team of superheroes. And you see this in the Avengers. The Avengers are a team. And it being a team, it's great, and you do have camaraderie in your team. You have your, as they say, the blood of battle is thicker than the water of the womb, that you suffered with another, it will create a bond stronger than if you are family. But of course, if you are a family with whom you've also suffered, that makes it all the deeper. So they are both the water of the womb and the blood of battle, and that is more powerful than anything else. And that's why their dynamic really moves beyond what you're going to see in most other comic books, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, but well, you mentioned Ubermensch. Ray, are you getting that? Are you going to get that Marvel Comics 1000?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of the flack that goes around it with the parallels between DC and Marvel, but I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to get it. It's great.
It's just going to be really weird because I guess it's like a bunch of characters, so it's like 80 pages, but it's going to be like page stories or something.
Page of story. Yeah, it should be good.
I know they just announced. I guess Miracle Man is getting one of the a 1-page story in there now.
Right. Okay.
Oh, Miracle Man. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Marvel's had the rights for him the last several years.
Oh yeah. No,
they haven't done like a lot because I know they reprinted some of the old stuff and then like they never went forward with it ongoing or anything. I just want maybe I'm thinking maybe they were planning something for Miracle Man, and then I don't know if maybe they quit, or because I'm thinking, is that why they did the Century? Or
well, the issue with a character like Miracle Man, where you get the rights to them, is that you do have both the complexity of, we have this new character, but this character has all this history. It's like and it's like if Marvel got the rights to Superman, you can throw Superman. You can just retell Superman's origin story, and he's a character from now the teens or the 20s, or you can have his history and his story. I think this is one of the reasons that they kind of merged Miles into the overall 616, which is kind of a misnomer now, of course, obviously. But merged him into what we call the 616. Because they didn't want to negate the history of
Miles Morales.
Yes. They wanted to incorporate into everything else. And so if you bring a character like Miracle Man, not Marvel Man.
Who is this character?
He is Marvel Man. They said, they originally released him as Miracle Man, and yada. He'll always be Marvel Man to me. If you bring Marvel Man in and you tell the story, and yes, the Sentry is very similar to the Marvel Man story. Of course, the Marvel Man story is very similar to the Billy Batson story, so you can run a lot of ways to work it. But if you bring him in, you don't want to negate all of the history that made Marvel Man, because otherwise you're just doing the Ultimates again, and we all know how that ended. Horrible.
Yeah, and it kind of,
And I wonder if Marvel's going to like try to play this because like I read like a couple, 10 years ago or something, or maybe longer than that, they like reprinted some of that old Miracle Man stuff, and I was reading some of it. And isn't he a kid who says a magic word to turn into Miracle Man?
Really?
It is. It is.
I'm just wondering if Marvel's going to like try to play that as their Shazam now.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
that'll be very bad taste, I'd say.
So I mean, yeah. So the original Marvel Man story, and it's what is it? It's Kitoma, which is atomic backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says Kitoma, which actually should be pronounced Sitoma, I think, because it's the C-I, or Chitoma. Or Chitoma. Yeah, Chitoma.
Don't question the map.
No, I'm sorry.
Chimota. Yeah.
Chimota is how you would pronounce that.
And I think you didn't even have.
Sounds delicious.
Didn't even.
I'd love to have a big plate of Chitoma. I can't even pronounce it, but it's delicious. You'll love it.
Did he even have a sidekick who had powers or something too?
Yeah, well, Captain Marvel Jr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Originally named. Yeah.
Well, it is. Like I said, literally, it is the Billy Batson story. I even think there's a wizard in it. It's the Billy Batson story. It is a total. This is what they did in the. Everyone like, wow, this is what they did.
Hang on, they still do it at Marvel 1000, right? So that's still happening.
Yeah, but the idea is that it was. But that was then Alan Moore got his grubby hands on it. Yeah. But that's when it got big,
Yeah, Alan Moore rant.
No. But Alan Moore, as a kid, loved these comics. Probably thought Shazam was the ripoff because he's in England. It's like, oh, it's this great character. He had the magic word. He says, "Well, what's your thing? You might like Shazam." Oh, Shazam came out 4 years after. But actually, it's like no, Shazam was first, and then this guy came out. But from his perspective, because time is relative, this is the original, and so. But he decided that, of course, there'd be sex and government conspiracies and yada, yada, yada involved. And that's where we get our current Miracle Man. And it does mirror the story of the century in the fact that when we first meet Miracle Man or Marvel Man, he is this schlubby guy who doesn't remember his past of being the hero. And then he gets awoken to what his past was. But again, so it's basically... The Century is a pastiche of Marvel Man, who is the pastiche of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
All the way back to probably Jason and the Argonauts. But but again, I'm going to have to say I think that the Century has a better story. But that's me, mostly because in the end he becomes a hero and doesn't just dwell on his own evilness. But that's my opinion.
I mean, Marvel and DC are always kind of like copying each other because you have the whole Aquaman Namor thing, and I just wonder if they, at the end of the day, we're gonna have they're basically just gonna be mirrors of each other.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: is all superheroes are mirrors of something. Well, even Superman, you can argue, is just Doc Savage.
Yeah.
Doc Savage falls under because But there he's got a super serum, and then Doc Savage is Captain America too, and then Captain America is Super Soldier, and it's like no matter how many ways you slice it, there's a dozen stories that that come about. Please.
No, I'll just say, Phil. Obviously, the obvious one is Batman's obviously a copy of Moon Knight.
I was wondering if you're going to go there. Yeah. I'll
really dangle the carrot. I
was going to hook you up and say, Moon Knight, and.
I will touch on this. Moon Knight is nothing like Batman. Okay.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
Actually, there is the Ultraman. That's his name. There's actually another Marvel character. I don't know if Moon Knight came first or Ultraman came first. Ultraman was kind of a one-shot character in Marvel, but he's basically meant to be. Well, and again, get into this thing. So, Martian Manhunter was a Superman pastiche. Ultraman in the Marvel Universe is likewise a Martian Manhunter Superman pastiche. And Ultraman's his basic origin is...
Oh, wait. Is it Ultraman or was that Captain Ultra? Is that who it is?
I don't know. He's got like a red and green costume.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He was in... When Wonder Man created the Revengers, he was one of the team that he put on it, along with D-Man and Anti-Venom and a few other people. But his basic storyline is he was a fireman, but he had a fear of fire. He went to a hypnotist to become free of his fear of fire. The hypnotist winds up unlocking his ultimate human potential. So he can basically.
What
that
a
means,
therapist.
But he couldn't cure him of his fear of fire. So he still has a fear of fire, a crippling fear of fire. Yeah. But at the same time, he also is a superhero. So it's like got that John Jones quality. You have all these superpowered qualities, flight and super strength and invulnerability. So yeah, I mean, when you get down to the meat of it, there are so many pastiches.
Oh yeah, of
now
course. Yeah.
Moon Knight, especially in his modern interpretations, falls into that same kind of ultimate human potential unleashed kind of character. Now, originally it's bound to, because when we first see him, it's like he's bound to the phases of the moon, and under a full moon, according to the universe, the Marvel handbook to the Marvel universe, under a full moon, he is class 100. With his strength.
Oh, really?
Well,
wow.
Really? Well, that's because of that werewolf bite, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was.
I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it got so muddied there. I think Doug Mensch was really trying to figure out what he wanted to do. He had a werewolf bite. There was, that gave him his strength. Then later on in Fist of Khonshu, it was the deities that kind of gave him strength through the moon. It was all a bit weird, but
and then like late 80s, early 90s, they really tried to make him like Marvel's Batman. But I think, now he like breaks the mold because he has like all the multiple personalities and stuff.
But again, it goes to that idea of that unlimited human potential. Mm-hmm. The idea that because he is a human in this magical world that is powered by Gaia, the force of all life, when he can tap into it, he has literally access to all powers. And that's why, when you were doing that thing where, he's got the Captain America, now he's got Captain America powers, and now he's got Spider-Man powers, and now he's got these powers,
But you know who did that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the guy does. Here's the thing. So I think you're meaner to Bendis than most of the.
I think
I'm nicer to him just because you're so obsessed with this guy.
I like a lot of his stuff, like the street level stuff, the Daredevil, the Jessica Jones, his Ultimate Spider-Man stuff. But just when the power levels get too high, sometimes I think he gets a little wonky. Which get off track. Ray, I don't know how your TV viewing is down there, but I guess on they're saying July 25th, Bendis is going to appear again on the Late Night with Seth Meyers.
Oh, I saw something online about that. Cool.
I mean, like I said, you get mad about it, and I know that is my voice saying Bendis. I think at that time I was quoting Gwenpool. I think Gwenpool has a harder time with Bendis because she's a fangirl, and it is just that idea that But at the end of the day, the thing with any of these characters is this idea, especially with Moon Knight, is this idea that he has this power he can unlock. Mm-hmm. Now, what causes is it gods or is it his own psychology? Does it really matter? Are the gods even anything without human psychology? It's established in the Hercules comics that, look, we gods, we're real beings, but we actually are heavily influenced by the stories you tell about us. So when you tell a story about us, that is our reality. This has a nice corollary in the current Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. arc. I don't know if anyone's seen the latest.
I didn't watch last night's, but I mean...
Oh, okay. Well, I won't spoil it for you, but there's a lot going on about how images in our world can affect non-corporeal beings when they take form. And so, it's interesting in its way. I don't know if they're going to go as far as I'd like them to go, but, they might go there, I'm always surprised by Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is why I love the show, which is why I do a podcast on them called Nuff Said. Look, nice. Southgate Media Network. Sorry, sending my plug in there.
That's all right. Everyone is. Yeah. Yeah. Two more Marvel announcements. Did you see Ray, you probably saw this because I did mention it on the Into the Night group. I guess Marvel's returning the 2099 for something. I don't know if it's going to be a new line of books or some kind of special, but yeah, there were, I guess, big tease for Marvel 2099.
What are your thoughts on that, Phil? Like with 2099, were you a big fan of the 90s?
I mean, most of those books, they were pretty good, but I did love, of course, Spider-Man 2099 was my favorite. Doom 2099 was pretty good, speaking of Doctor Doom, as we keep doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they have to work with 2099 again because they gave that big teaser at the end of Spider-Verse, about Universe 2099, which maybe we should just call that Universe 2099 now. Because it's only 70 years in the future now.
80. Yeah, 80.
Yeah.
80?
Yeah. 80.
Oh, yeah, 80.
9, yes.
I'm thinking it's already 2029. I don't know what time it is. Talking to a guy in Australia, there could be a time difference.
That's
2099 down there, yeah.
That's it. A good 10 years, yeah.
Because, I mean, spoilers at the end of this week. Was it this week or last week? In Amazing Spider-Man 25, they show, Spider-Man 2099 falls out of the sky, so.
Miguel O'Hara.
Yes.
Another Peter David written comic.
Yes.
Yeah, he may not know anything about Cyclops, but he's still a pretty good guy.
You really called Charlie a dumbass in our interview with him.
Yes, I had my redemption, though. Scroll down, you'll see my redemption.
Sure.
I was right.
Yeah. And I mean, and we were talking about Miles. Did you see, I guess they're going to do playing off the movie, they're going to do a 6-issue Spider-Verse miniseries. Miles is going to be traveling through the multiverse or whatever.
Oh, cool. That'd be good.
More Spider-Ham. I'm sorry, he's the backbone of that entire franchise.
Yeah. But has Miles got a series already, a title? He had one before.
Yeah.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Yeah, he has his own series right now. So, I don't know what they're doing. Because, I don't know if it's the next issue or the one after, because he has a big anniversary issue coming up, I guess. Okay. I don't know if it's something about bringing back the Ultimate Universe is still out there in some form. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We got that in the Ultimates when the Ultimates showed up, and the Ultimates are looking for their universe again, But of course, it's just a copy of their universe because there's a billion different alternate timelines for the Ultimate Universe too,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the word infinity means. That there's infinite number of it.
But wasn't the whole idea of Hickman's Secret Wars combining all of those infinite universes together?
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. That's the thing. It's it doesn't work that way because, I won't even go into my theory again, but because I've said it more than once. But the entire premise is that the Beyonders are trying to limit the amount of universes for some reason. Gee, I wonder what that is. I told you earlier, but they're trying to limit the number of universes, but that technically means they're only limiting the number of universes that they have contact with. That they're trying to close the thing. The fact that one of the final books just before we get to Secret Wars is literally Thor and Hyperion just decimating Beyonders left and right, because, almost suggests that the Beyonders kind of just wanted it all to end. They wanted to be in a place, again, returning to the oneness of the Beyond when they didn't have to worry about diverging timelines. They're basically like giant fanboys. They're just so mad at all the differentiations that, that's not what that character's supposed to be. Why are they doing alternate timelines? I hate that.
Yeah. Well, I just wonder what they're doing because they even said, I guess, at the end of the year in December, Marvel's going to. They didn't say what it is, but they're coming out with some big one-shot special that's going to, propel them to 2020. So, I guess the next big event or. So.
They've got a lot of. Marvel's always doing something.
Oh, they never end. They never end.
Are you guys getting fatigue? Are you getting event fatigue or?
No.
I am a little bit because I see Absolute Carnage coming up, and I'm just
Absolute Carnage.
I don't know if I'm picking that up or how much of that I'm.
I'd love to, but I'm just trying to get over War of the Realms.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for me, it's why would I read that? I don't like Carnage as a character.
Yeah, but I know
I'm not a huge Spider fan.
I know there's some spin-offs though too. Like I know I think Deadpool spinning off of that.
One shots as well.
Yeah.
But it's not a book. That's the thing. Here's the thing: you don't have to buy the book just because it's there.
Oh no!
If you're a guy that buys every book every week, then yeah, it probably getting event fatigue would be a thing. But if you only have a small number of books you buy, like it's like Fantastic Four, and that's not really a small number of books. It's at least 5 books a week for me. But it's like, unless it's like if there's a Ms. Marvel event where she's the central character, that might pull me in.
Yeah.
Acts of Evil. I'm kind of intrigued by it because I do like the premise of the first 2 books.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get the comics. So
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Let's talk to this. Yes. Because
Phil's Comics Corner.
Ray, did you read any? Have you been reading any of those Acts of Evil annuals?
I read just recently the Punisher one. Was there another one released?
Well, I wanted to read it. I haven't read it yet, but yeah, the Miss Marvel one I think was the first one.
Okay.
And then Punisher did come out this week. Yeah, I know Punisher. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, so I guess Ms. Marvel came first, right? Phil, you had said that Ms. Marvel was released first. I want to call out. I mean, this is apparently the alternate cover. Very misleading. It has the Wizard on it. I thought we were doing a Frightful Four thing. I was very disappointed. There's no Frightful Four quality in there because you have you basically have you have the Mole Man, you have Perich, you have the Wizard, Annihilus. Oh,
but is that the variant cover though? If it's a variant cover,
it is the variant cover. Yeah,
anything
I don't know that when I buy it. I don't know that when I buy it, but so this is the first one, and its basic premise is you have the Super Skrull, yada yada yada, and he's being told all of his exploits by this. Is this a guy? They call him Scott Cree, but his actual name is Mar Coyle. He's a little Cree guy here. You guys know him? Okay.
No.
Okay, so which is my thing because it's like I don't know that character. Are you Loki in disguise? That's my thing.
Oh yeah, Acts of Vengeance. Yeah,
or someone else like that. Not for nothing. Not for nothing. It could be Mercury in disguise. He's a trickster god too. Never gets any play. But
all right, here's my plug. I mean, we talked a little bit about Acts of Vengeance on the Quantum Zone, but coming up, I think in September, Lilith and I are going to do the Spider-Man issues for Acts of Vengeance. So
yeah, lovely.
Oh, those are awesome. I was just rereading those. Those are awesome.
Yeah. But you're opening up with an obvious trickster character who's talking to I forget his name, but the Super Skrull.
Yeah.
Kilrit, I think it is. But and he sells him this magic MacGuffin device, which will, if built on the morphogenic framework of a shapeshifter, can unleash that morphogenic framework onto an entire planet, turn the entire planet and its denizens into whatever you want it to be. And he's basically saying, so I'm going to go find Ms. Marvel, who is the most powerful shapeshifter in the universe, and use her morphogenic scaffolding to actually transform Earth into Skrullos, our old homeworld that was eaten by Galactus. And his plan is to impersonate a character called Captain Hero, which is not particularly original. To try and lure her in. Starts up beating up people, but being very violent about it. And, Captain Marvel, she's like all about, can we talk this through?
Yeah.
I mean, she'll punch you if she has to, but she'd always prefer to talk it through. There's this little 80s throwback character called, I forget what it is. Shaboom. Her name is Shaboom. She has like little sparkle powers that destroy things. And, basically they, fight. Mm-hmm. The MacGuffin gets used, but then gets destroyed by Shaboom because, hey, she lives in the Earth too. So we get a nice little face turn with that. And then, basically Ms. Marvel talks her out of Threat out of destroying the Earth and saying, look, things change. Yes, your Earth was destroyed. Everything gets destroyed. The best you can do is sort of build the world from that. And he's like, yeah, we're shapeshifters. We shouldn't be so hung up on what planet we're on, yada, yada, yada. Let's build a new world. And then they throw Scott Cree into space. And that's the end. And it seems like, that's a standalone, no relation to anything, until we get to the Punisher, where once again there's a kind of trickster character making deals with aliens.
Yeah, space.
For reason.
Yeah. But he gets.
You guys want to talk about that one?
Well, he gets. That's Kalis Drake, right? That you're talking about, the guy that organized the whole space expedition.
Yeah. What in the Punisher?
Yeah, sorry, the Punisher. Yeah.
Is the wife? Yeah, his wife.
Oh yeah. Drake, the
It's actually interesting, Charlie, that you went through the Miss Marvel annual, because I was when you were describing it, I was trying to find any ties with the Acts of Evil, the Punisher annual, and the closest thing is this Drake character, but he gets disposed of at the end. So I guess similar to that Scott Cree character. So I don't know how things are going to tie in with a continuing thread. It seemed a little disjointed, this whole Acts of Evil thing.
I'm still getting video. Can you turn off the cable?
He's having trouble. But I love the Punisher and J. Jonah Jameson team.
How good was that? I was a bit
it's down too. So
I was a bit reserved about it at first, Phil. But the humor that J. Jonah Jameson injects, it's really funny. It actually works, and it's not your gritty, dark Punisher that some fans would be wanting.
Yeah,
and the art itself doesn't lend itself to that as well, because the art's quite light. It actually reminds me a little bit of Ryan Otley, Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's not really a Punisher, tone, but yeah, overall it was quite enjoyable. Punisher in space,
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just like him. I've been looking for like connections between the annuals. Are you back, Charlie?
Mr. Professor.
Charles Hester. But I know at least Ray, I'm sure we're going to be picking up that Moon Knight annual.
Yeah, well, I mean, your thoughts, Phil, on... I'd say, did you read Miss Marvel as well as the Punisher one?
I wanted to. I didn't read it yet.
Okay.
Try to read this after this. Yeah.
Well, just then, off the back of the Punisher annual, then what are your initial thoughts then of Acts of Evil? Like, I mean, I'm definitely, to answer your question, definitely going to get the Moon Knight one. Being a fan of Acts of Vengeance, how do you find this tallying up?
I don't know if it's because I am a fan of Acts of Vengeance that I want there to be like some big conspiracy.
Yeah.
I hope it's not just like random, people.
But because it gives it a lot more value, I think, if there is a common thread. Like, I mean, it's funny because, Charlie was talking about the events and all that. And if you don't have to buy it, if you don't follow the title, you don't have to buy it. But one of the good things that Marvel does is running a thread through different series and making you want to collect it. Like, I would never think of getting a Miss Marvel annual, but if there is a continuing story and it feeds into this Punisher annual, then I will check it out. I'm a sucker like that. So, and that's what made, I thought, Acts of Vengeance really good. Right?
Oh yeah,
because you had that backstory.
Yeah,
this seems to be just, as you say, random events, and I can't see how this. Sorry,
I said hopefully it's not.
Hopefully not. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm excited for the Moon Knight versus Kang. I think we're getting Deadpool versus Nightmare.
Yes, I think the next one is Venom, right? Versus Madam something.
Oh yeah, Lady Hellbender.
Lady Hellbender. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that character. Do you know her or?
No, that's what I said. I'm not familiar with her. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's no, it was good though. I did enjoy it, and I love the epilogue, having it done by Simon Kudransky.
Oh yeah,
that art. I mean, he's been killing it with Matt Rosenberg on the Punisher title itself. His art is really good. incidentally, I wasn't a fan of his art in that Damnation event. That was a while ago now.
Oh, yeah.
You remember that one with Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider?
And I mean, he did art for Spawn for a while too, and I liked his art better here because I think they paired him with a good colorist.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, well, this epilogue alone, just a few pages, is really good. But what did you think of the Brood Queen? The Brood, that whole kind of thing.
I don't know. I just thought it was so ridiculous. It's just Frank Castle and Jameson are almost like Sigourney Weaver and aliens. Aliens and stuff. And
yeah, exactly.
It was a little ridiculous, the plot getting them into space. It's just
it was pretty ridiculous. And you say it's a bit of mindless fun, but I found that the beginning bit really good when Jameson's introduced to the Punisher actually killing these under what do you call them? They're Russian spies, I guess.
They're trying to hijack the space shuttle and
that was actually really cool. And then it just became a pretty funny B-grade slugfest at the end.
Oh yeah, because Jameson's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "These aren't astronauts. Astronauts don't carry guns into space."
Yeah, exactly. No, so it was okay. Yeah, I thought it was good.
So what else you've been reading, Ray?
Yeah, well, I've read. Particularly just for the show, I thought I'd catch up on my things. So, where do I start? I've really enjoyed a fair few of them. I'm going to do something a little different here, Phil. I'm going to go down the Superman route. I read Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, did you? Did you? I didn't read that, but I think Charlie did. Charlie, you there?
I can see him.
Oh,
sure. No. Kang has got him. He's
baby. Yeah,
stuck in a time warp. Jimmy Olsen, Matt Fraction, Phil, really good, very different. I did not expect this sort of comic at all.
I hear noise. Yeah. Charlie, you there?
Charlie?
Oh, I guess not.
Oh, he's dropped out again.
But I didn't read Jimmy Olsen. I might have to pick that up because I have a big theory that I put on the internet that have you heard about the whole Leviathan thing?
Oh, is that the big event happening now?
Yeah, and there's this mysterious figure in armor who's taking out all the spy organizations in the DC universe.
And what do you reckon?
I think Jimmy Olsen is Leviathan.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I mean, because they even said that they teased it at the end of the last season of Supergirl that the Leviathan. So we're like, they're doing that already, even though it's still going on in the comics. And then they just announced that the guy who plays, James Olsen on Supergirl is leaving halfway through the season.
Oh,
I'm like, he's Leviathan.
You are putting the breadcrumbs. You're piecing the puzzle together. That's cool.
But yeah, no, I didn't. Like I was going to say, I didn't read Jimmy Olsen, but you know what I picked up? It's a week or two old, but they also put out a Lois Lane series.
I want to read that. I didn't read it. So
Greg Rucka, it's really good.
Oh, Greg Rucka, actually,
yeah.
But they've got some pretty big names here: Matt Fraction, Greg Rucka.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely going to have to check that one out as well. I was speaking to Connor as well, again from our podcast. Wondering if he's going to get it. He wants to. Unfortunately, not at this time. He can't. But definitely something worth checking out. Jimmy Olsen's it's funny. I don't know. It's a really light comic, and it's almost like an anthology. Like Matt Fraction splits it up into I think 3 small stories, but they all kind of overlap with one another. And it's just got this really, I don't know how to, the closest comparison maybe is Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Not that I've ever read that, but it's just very light and funny. And, Anyway, so I was really surprised by that.
But yeah, if anyone wants to see my theory, I posted it on the Capes and Lunatics blog finally.
Oh, nice.
I used to try to do that weekly, but last year was working so much overtime. I was like, I haven't put something up since October. Holy crap! So yeah, I did put that up. But yeah, I know someone was even saying to me, they're like, well, what about this series he has coming out? Because it's like a 12-issue series. I was like, well, what if it's the Road to Leviathan? Yeah, and then like I said, Lois got a series too. So man, I don't know. Maybe in the end, she's gonna be like I don't know, trying to like battle him, because like in the first issue it's really good, you know, it's her and Clark, you know, with her and Clark, but then it's like she sends the like the female version of the Question like out on a mission, and then at the end she's like at the White House, like a White House press conference, and she's like very real worldy. She's like, oh, what about this thing at the border with you putting kids in cages and stuff? So I mean,
who's the artist in that?
It is Perkins.
Oh, Mike Perkins.
Let me double check.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the art was really good. I mean, it really matches like the tone of this story, in my opinion. Yeah, Mike Perkins. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. No, I saw. I think it was a variant cover or whatever by Nicholas Scott. I'm not sure if it was. And it has Lois with her back against the wall, kind of looking with bullets ricocheting off the wall, and she's got a reporter's notepad. Yeah, it just looks awesome. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, only one issue so far, but it's really good.
Okay. Yeah, how about this week's pull feel? What have you been reading?
Like I said, I read that Punisher. Did I hear you say it on your show? Do you read Immortal Hulk?
Yes. Oh god, that is up there. That is so good.
Charlie, you there?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened with my computer. So
okay,
we're on the phone now.
Okay, but I know you said you read it. I didn't read it, but Ray was saying he read Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen #1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I didn't read it. I just browsed it in the comic book store. If it had a code, I would have bought it. But it didn't have a code. And their #1s usually have a code, so them not having a code, you know what?
They haven't been doing that lately. Like I said, I got Lois Lane #1. There was no code. Yeah, I mean, DC,
that's disappointing. Yeah,
they were putting out a lot of their books with codes, and then they were just like going for like #1s and annuals. They were doing the code. Yeah, now I'm not seeing any codes. It's like,
no.
Yeah, well, you know what? They don't want people
got to get that word of mouth
to share books. Yeah, well, exactly. That's the thing. They don't want the word of mouth, and you know what? It's a short-sighted business model, but that's the story of DC. You know, it is short-sighted business model. What I liked about it was that it does show some darkness, and the very last page of it is, you know, the death of Jimmy Olsen, which suggests that there's an alternate dimension Jimmy Olsen or some yada yada yada. As I said, that, you know, if Red Hood is Jimmy Olsen, it might well be Ali Jameson, Ultraman's best pal from the Crime Syndicate universe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a very likely possibility that we might get that.
Yeah, just to elaborate there, Phil, as well, the very last panel of that shows Jimmy Olsen looking at his own article of at an article saying who killed Jimmy Olsen. So it's a bit confusing, but it kind of leaves you hanging, wanting more. So, I really enjoyed it, Charlie. I thought it was really good.
And Charlie, I was telling Ray, like, they were teasing Leviathan on the season finale of Supergirl last season, and then they just announced that the guy who plays James Olsen is leaving this season, like, halfway through. I'm like, oh, he's Leviathan. I'm right. I'm right.
Well, but that's this old, how much do they all communicate question. You know, are they communicating with Supergirl who Leviathan is? As has been said, Leviathan is kind of a default name.
Yeah, but again, too. But I mean, if you want to go with that alternate reality version, I mean, their big crossover this year is going to be Crisis on Infinite Earths, because they even said they're going to have. They announced, I guess, at Comic-Con that Brandon Routh is going to play Superman again during that Crisis crossover, Charlie. He's going to be the Atom and Superman. And then they're going to bring back that other Superman. So there's going to be two versions of Superman in there, in that crossover this year.
Oh, what if Brandon Routh is Ultraman? And it is.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, I love when John Wesley Shipp arrived as the Flash.
Oh, did you watch that?
Yeah, that was so cool. I used to watch the 90s show, and I got a real buzz seeing him there. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're giving us Brandon Routh, Superman in that crossover. I can't wait. Their crossovers are so good. I mean, I love those CW TV crossovers. I love those more than, like, probably most of those most recent DC movies.
Like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a pretty low bar.
Charlie. I enjoyed Shazam. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, Shazam.
Yeah.
The better ones. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. Aquaman. Yeah.
But you know what you can always say about the ones that are good is, are they good movies or are they just good for DC?
I think a bit of both. I think a bit of both, Charlie. I think you're right. I think a bit of both. Because
but it's like when you say like Iron Man 2 or Thor 2 are bad films. Are you saying they're bad films or are you saying they're bad Marvel films? Because yes, those are definitely not up to the level that we have come to expect from Marvel.
Yeah.
But at the same time, are they necessarily bad films?
Oh yeah, no, because I'll sit there and watch them if they come on TV or something.
Yeah, and watching Iron Man 2 recently, I thought I hated it. Watching it again, I didn't hate it as much as watching it. You know, when I watched it again, it was actually half decent. It was good. So
I don't have the problem with that. A lot of people do.
You know, they're fun popcorn films.
Yeah, they are.
That's what you can say about, Shazam and Wonder Woman and Aquaman. They're fun popcorn films that you go and you see and maybe see one or two more times because it's a fun thing to do on a day when you don't have anything else to do. And I think where DC has the problem and Marvel actually succeeds is when they want to tell a deeper story, I think DC trips over its own feet trying to tell a deeper story, and I think Marvel somehow gets it. When they want to tell something deeper than just a fun film with people, in costumes punching each other, they're both pretty good at that. But when you want to tell a deeper story, I think that's where DC falters. Not that DC films are bad films, it's just that DC films haven't quite figured out how to do the melodrama yet. That their melodrama is still coming off more soap operatic than Shakespearean.
Okay, yeah.
But hey, Charlie, when we're going through the comics, you know what Ray reads? That's one of our favorites. Immortal Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Immortal Hulk. Well, who isn't reading Immortal Hulk?
I know you can't not. It feels like, I don't know about you guys. It feels like we're actually reading something very special. I don't want to make it sound really, but it really is. It's especially with Joe Bennett. This issue, the latest issue, Phil, doesn't have Joe Bennett in it, but it still kind of carries the story along, I thought. And this was a good one.
You see, this issue, for me, was actually pretty much the weakest issue in the Immortal Hulk series. Now, of course, is it a bad issue of a Hulk comic? No, it's not a bad issue at all. But it doesn't give me what I was looking for from an Immortal Hulk story. And then to have this sort of last stage reveal of now he's the Abomination now, it's like,
Oh, really? I really liked that. I thought that was really, really cool.
Well, except he scolds Ross earlier in the issue, in that same issue, about why do you want to become the thing we hate?
Yeah.
And that's the quality that makes you go, and then the whole, him just, owning everyone in Alpha Flight,
Yeah. Oh, that was shocking. I thought, killing Walter.
If any of them are even dead yet.
Yeah, of course. They're probably going to be revived somehow, but.
Well, I mean,
he's not going out with a needle to the brain.
Look who he kind of killed, Charlie. It was Doc Samson. It was Sasquatch, who we both know have Gamma.
Yeah.
And what's been going on with the Gamma people? They come back. They come back.
They come back all the time. Yeah. I'm not too worried about Samson, but they did say Walter had his, he was free of Gamma or whatever. So I don't know.
But so were all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them were cured by that. By the Hulk a few years back, and now
that's true.
Back. So
yeah. But no, I thought a very strong issue again. Not, I'd agree with you, Charlie. Not one of the, best ones. They've been ripping. I think the one before this was just fantastic, and I think a couple of them before this. But yeah, look, if anyone who's listening hasn't picked up Immortal Hulk, I feel obliged to tell them, go out and get it, because you're missing out on something very special.
They've even had my favorite, Joe Fixit. That's my favorite Hulk, the Gray Hulk.
Yeah.
They haven't had him yet. They just had him in Banner's body.
In mind, not in
mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
Him
and that cheesy mustache.
I will give it to this one that I did like in this book is Ross basically telling Fortran that even that when the Hulk thinks he's in control or when Banner thinks he's in control or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when he's dangerous, because when we were fighting, it wasn't, it was still just, I'm the strongest one there is, and I'm going to punch you. And it's always just this angry little child, no matter how smart he gets. He's just an angry child. Yeah,
a beautiful, really good writing there from Al Ewing. I think he really does tease out a lot of the essence of what I think Thunderbolt thinks, and what sometimes I guess we think of the Hulk. Well, maybe thoughts that we've not realized we've thought. It's really good.
Yeah, and I think he's. I remember if you ever read like the first time we see Rock and Redeemer. And by the way, I always get annoyed that they always bring back the Redeemer armor. No one ever brings back the Rock armor. I actually thought it was the greater weapon, because it looks like a potato, but it's polymorphic, and that's what I love about the Rock armor.
It's like made out of rock. It's almost like a Ben Grimm suit.
Well, no, but
it changes shape. But it changes shape.
Yeah, that's what makes the Rock cool. And but if you ever read the original Peter David Rock and Redeemer, it's very much this idea of looking back on each of these characters who hate the Hulk story. Yeah. And again, this is what we got last issue with Betty. It's sort of Betty's story, over several ways. And now we've done Fortune's story over several ways. And I wonder, like, in the third issue, because you probably do these in threes, I wonder what we're going to get next. I'm hoping we get Rick Jones back,
Yeah, me too.
Rick and Jones. The first guy to have that ultimate human potential unlocked,
and what do you guys think of Gamma Flight?
Oh, I like those guys.
Yeah.
And I
as a team.
I love Crusher Creel on that.
Yeah, me too. I like Crusher Creel.
Yeah, I totally feel that there's this idea that they want to get into the idea of Crusher Creel's idea that because he is the absorbing man, he just absorbs the personalities of the people around him. So when he's around criminals, he gets more and more evil.
Okay.
In fact, the most evil we've ever seen him is when he was in a mental institution. He was just absorbing the minds of the evil doctors around him.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's a great story. I think that's a Spider-Man story, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
But, I could be wrong on that. But, yeah, it's a great absorbing man story. It's like a 3-issue arc or something.
Yeah. He's been around recently. He was in the Christian Ward Black Bolt run, which he was very good in, was written very well in. So he's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that there's a lot you can do with Absorbing Man, and I really like that when we see him here, he's just sort of like, he's just chilling out. He's not being a supervillain. He's really just being a dude with his girlfriend, and he's like, you gotta beef with them, they gotta beef with me, He's still a rough and tumble guy, but he's not like plotting anyone's death at the moment.
He's no.
And really I think that, Mary is more the supervillainist one, and and her motivations are always kind of weak too. Like, her big fight with She-Hulk is always just that She-Hulk beat her up once. It made her feel weak again when she got the streak, but she used to get beat up all the time, so.
Yeah. Oh, I think this couple, they aren't geniuses or anything like that. They're pretty much just from the School of Hard Knocks, and that's how they kind of got by, through crime previously. But now they've been handed quite a nice little job. I mean, even Creel kind of is fascinated at how cool they've got it now. Beach prison. What are we doing? We're super cops. So, they've got themselves in a nice position. I hope they do more of Gamma Flight. I'd be really keen to see more of it.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they spun that off into something. Yeah. I mean, they were kind of not the Absorbing Man and Titania, but I mean the rest of them were like kind of with Captain Marvel for a while in like her last series. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if something came of that, or if you're getting like an Alpha Flight book again or something.
I love an Alpha Flight book again.
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't want to hold Ray too long because I know it's late there, but
Sorry.
I was going to say, did anybody read Loki #1 this week?
No, missed that one.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, Phil. Could you read it? Who are the artists and the writers for that?
This is. I wasn't familiar with. Where's the credits? It's give you the full names here. It's the writer's Kibble Smith or whatever.
Oh yeah, Daniel Kibble Smith. Cool.
And the art is drawn by Oscar Basil Dua.
Oh, okay. I never heard of him.
Phil, just as a point, since we're going to do super connectivity next anyway, do you want to save that for super connectivity?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to see if Ray wanted to if Ray read it, but yeah, it was good.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Yeah.
Is it a one shot or a mini?
No. Well, I know they're gonna have more issues, so I don't know if it's gonna be a mini or an ongoing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, because like issue 2, it looks like the covers look like he's going to like harass Tony Stark, which I can't wait for.
Cool.
Yeah. If you want to read it, let us know. We'll hook you up, and we have ways.
Listen to the dealer over there. Oh, I know we've been reading this. Ray, have you read Daredevil? Have you been reading Daredevil?
Yeah, this was a really good issue. I don't know if you liked it as well. Very contained. It was just in the Libris family. I guess the summary is Matt Murdock gets invited. A bit of a reveal. This woman that he's had, kind of hots for.
Yeah, it's very weird because he walked into her bookstore. It's like hitting on a married woman.
Yeah. Well, this has been bubbling for a bit, but we never knew that she was married until this issue. And not only that, but she's married to.
She said she was married the very first time they met.
Oh, did she?
Very much shut him down the first time when he came in as a drunken hobo.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought
he's still a drunken hobo, and she's still shutting him down. She invites him up because, he is a drunken hobo, but at least it's gonna annoy her husband.
Yeah.
So that was the weird thing about this issue. I'm like, well, why would she invite him, knowing who he is, knowing who the family is? Was she like trying to get out of that family?
No, she's trying to. You know what? My honest opinion is, I think they have their best times, if you will, when the emotions get high. And I think it's like, you know what? This will get the juices flowing.
I think so. I think so, Charlie. I think you're absolutely right. I think she did that to get a rise out of them.
Yeah.
Out of it. Yeah.
But it's like I don't think they're specifically. I don't think she's like trying to cause. Like I said, from my take on it, from everything she said before that, I think she has a decent relationship with her family.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, this is going to cause the tension at the family dinner that's going to get us to the next thing.
Well, she showed no care for Matt Murdock. I mean, she's actually throwing him into the lion's den, knowing that he was a DA previously and that he had some kind of handling, and he obviously knows the family very well, because he tells, I can't remember her name, but about all their history. So she shows very little concern for Matt. And I don't know whether, I thought she cared for him. I thought she cared for him, but she actually spells it out here. What was it? You're a retail stalker or something? Retail creep.
Yeah.
You mistake very friendly professional service.
Yeah.
But again, it's because he is a creep. Because he's there sniffing around.
He is a little.
Who clearly had no interest in him. And she's like, you know what? You're going to keep on sniffing around. I think they can make use of you.
Well, that's what I told you, I think, a couple issues back. I just wonder if they're going to play into this more and like show that. I mean, I think they've kind of hinted around in previous runs, but like maybe he has issues with women, just like maybe not seeing women as fully developed people. Maybe it's maybe even has a sex addiction. Who knows?
Actually, that's probably, I mean, it's funny, my co-host Connor did raise as well. He's a big Daredevil fan. He loves Black Widow. And Black Widow happens to be the only person that has gone out with Matt that actually is still alive. So.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, Elektra's alive, but I mean.
Elektra, I mean, she did die.
So, I mean.
And Echo, I guess, as well. Yeah, but I mean, he has a good point there.
There's a lot of dead women, a lot of dead girlfriends on his tab. Yeah. Actually, Phil, before I forget as well, a bit of, I believe it's San Diego Comic-Con news. I'm sure you'll love it. And again, sorry, Charlie, please indulge me. It's only because I've discussed this with Phil before.
all new, all different X Factor are getting the Hasbro Marvel Legends treatment.
Oh, really?
So, so Strong Guy has been released.
Strong Guy, yes.
Yeah, and a double pack with Havoc and Polaris.
Oh,
so
nice.
In that really cool costume of the 90s, yeah. So
awesome. Oh,
yeah.
They're wearing those blue and yellow.
Blue and yellow ones, yeah. So keep your eyes out for, Wolfsbane and all the others. Maybe another re-release of Madrox, touch wood. So
don't tell me that. I might have to actually buy those. All right. Yeah. Oh, and our buddy Peter David might get an extra 50 cents. Yes.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, just before I forget. But,
no.
But yeah, going back to the Daredevil thing. Yeah, I mean, Chip Zdarsky's been doing very well, I think, on this title. I don't mind this artist. It's not Chichetto, who's a brilliant artist in the first arc. Mm-hmm. No Fear, but Sharma, is it? I guess it's Sharma. Holds his own.
Yeah, the art hasn't been bad, but yeah, those first couple
man,
art was just incredible.
Beautiful. And what do you think of, two things, both to Phil and to Charlie. What do you think of this new edition of Cole North, the cop from Chicago, and also the return of the Owl in on the mix? What do you reckon? Are you loving them, or you think it's... I
always love Daredevil beating on the Owl, but, I mean, he was kind of his Kingpin before the Kingpin.
Yeah.
But I just... the cop... the cop, I'm glad Zdarsky didn't go that way. I mean, it could have looked... I thought, he's going to make him like the villain Daredevil for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I guess it could still go that way, but I mean, I'm glad I was just like, okay, I didn't see that coming so far. Charlie?
Well, I mean, obviously, they've been working with the Owl for a while here. We've had the Owl as, the sort of background character, and definitely the guy who's stirring the pot among the monsters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Which is a nice take for the character. As Wilson Fisk becomes quote unquote legit. I mean, the detective, honestly, again, that he doesn't recognize Daredevil is Matt Murdock. Kind of says he's not the best detective in the world.
Fair play. Yeah.
It's just a mask that covers the whole lower half of his face is exactly the same, and he still sounds the same. He's not doing a voice modulating. I am Daredevil.
Not doing not doing a Christian Bale.
It's the same guy you met 2 minutes ago, and
yeah,
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing in modern That's the whole thing in comics, Charlie. You can't just lay that at Daredevil's thing.
No, that detectives aren't good detectives yet.
Well, people not recognizing people just because they have a little mask over their face.
Oh yeah.
Well, but I think you can always hand wave it in the sense that a lot of people just play along. It's like Gordon knows Batman is Bruce Wayne, but it's like, why would I admit to that? Because that makes me liable.
Plausible
deniability. Who's actively against Daredevil and has no reason to keep Daredevil secret. So he's just bad at his job.
Well, he's distracted. He's distracted.
He's got the rest of the police force against him as well.
Yeah.
They all hate him. And the big reveal at the end. Sorry, Charlie.
No, I like the idea of what Levita Libris says with the Kingpin about how you have to be truly evil to really make money in this world. Which also I think kind of aligns Kingpin more with his Netflix variant, where it's really about the real estate holdings and the building up of it's about the forced gentrification of Hell's Kitchen, and and this puts Levita Libris basically in the same thing where we're keeping the kitchen affordable because we bring the crime that drives down the rent.
I love the point of view that Zdarsky does on both sides. Both of it's quite compelling. The criminals and stuff, but she expounds on it so eloquently, and then you get Murdoch retorting. It's really, really good. Another piece of really good writing, I think, in this issue. And again, it's just nothing. It's just them at the dinner table. It's very, very contained.
I mean, I love all that stuff, but you mentioned the Kingpin. I'm interested to see if he's going to be like, he's going to fail going legit, and then they're just, he blame Matt or whoever. Like, I tried to get out, but you had to drag me back in.
Yeah.
He isn't going legit. He's not going legit. He's still demanding a percentage of everybody.
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
that's not legitimacy.
He's just distancing himself further from the crime.
In his twisted view, he is Charlie, but we know he's not. But
you know what? It's like Trump saying he no longer has a holding in Trump property. It's like, okay, you can argue that, but you're still getting paid by it, and you're still, it's like you're distancing yourself, but you're not distancing yourself. Essentially, the only reason they're paying him a percentage is because he's still actively involved, and he'll smush them if they don't. It's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's like, I
mean, it's basically just that Wilson Fisk going, "Oh yeah, well I'm not actively ordering people to murder other people, so I'm legit now."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
he still threatens the governor in there.
Oh yeah,
he does. I love that veiled threat. Beautifully done. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I had my man. I had my man watching you. So.
Yeah, because the governor had his sniper. Exactly. He's like, my men were behind yours.
Yeah. And just going on further, Charlie, with what you're talking about, I know it's not exclusively Netflix, but the next issue reveal, we see Daredevil back in the black costume. So, of course, that was all the way back with Man Without Fear, I think. But if any recent fans, they would associate...
Incredible Hulk.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh.
That's first get the black costume.
Yeah. Rex was the actor. I can't remember his last name, but very...
Yeah, I can't remember that. But
yeah. No. Very... so next issue, I'm back in black. Should be pretty good. But overall, another good... Daredevil, Immortal Hulk, Phil... Top tier. We're talking about top tier Marvel stuff at the moment there.
Well, Marvel's top tier. But, I mean, we'll shut this down soon. But, Ray, did you see what's coming out Wednesday? The Arachnite Annual.
Oh, well, yes. The next Secret Infinity Warp Sun. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been following the last two annuals, Soldier Supreme and the Ghost Panthers one out, I think, last week.
I didn't bother with Ghost Panther, but I did get Soldier Supreme. Like I was telling Charlie, I don't know if they're doing their own acts of vengeance, acts of evil thing over there, because it seems like their enemies are going after different people. So
okay, yeah, it's all a bit.
I did see it listed that they're going to have an ongoing. That it's going to be an ongoing. I can't remember if it was a monthly or a weekly book. They're going to be having an Infinity Warp ongoing series.
Oh, wow.
So...
realistically...
Fantastic Adventures or something, I'm not sure.
Realistically, we'll see how long that lasts, though, with Marvel. It could end up being
mini-series or,
Yeah, exactly. But with this Infinity Warps annual, Phil, I'm definitely going to pick up the Moon Knight one, but I reckon for the whole thing, I'm going to trade wait. I might just wait and buy the whole trade at the end. That's just too many damn titles.
That's how I feel about Absolute Carnage, probably.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I mean, they did this big thing for War of Realms, and now that it's like you don't get a chance to breathe, and they're like, "Here's Absolute Carnage."
I know.
Crossovers.
It doesn't give that kind of sense of special event because you just jump into the next one.
Yeah.
So, but absolutely. Yeah.
It just seems like they're trying to hit everybody. It's like, oh, you didn't like Thor stuff? Well, here, are you a Spider-Man fan or a Venom?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
But you know what? That's their idea. Is that, because there's a lot of Spider-Man fans who didn't buy War of the Realms. Well, probably.
That's true.
Spider-Man was in it. But, it's this idea. And they actually always do that. The Mutant Massacre was its own event outside of the other events that were going on at that time.
Yeah. But it just seems that
have their own events and the regular,
it just seems now that it's just unrelenting. It's just one literally after the other. I don't remember that even a few years ago. I remember there was,
or they even start them before the last one ends sometimes too.
Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. I'll say that I think that you have these events that you have small events and then you have big events.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this? War of the Realms level event. That's going to be a cross-Spider book. Maybe you'll have one crossover with the Fantastic Four or something, but it's not going to be a global event the way that War of the Realms was.
It goes over many titles, Charlie. It goes over not just the Spider titles. It goes over Fantastic Four. I mean, I've just read recent Captain Marvel. It goes over Immortal Hulk. It's got its toe in a lot.
Are they going to be tight? Are they going to be?
No, but it's going to be.
I was going to say, at least
Secret Wars 2, you would have Secret Wars 2 tie-ins where the Beyonder shows up in the last panel and says, this is an interesting story. And, you know, you would have these kind of things. And I would wager that it's going to be, there was this whole thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're going to make, you know, Carnage a worldwide event. I think that's a mistake. I don't think Carnage is the kind of character that has the legs for that. You know, I mean,
I think Donny Cates is pushing the symbiotes very hard.
Kristen might love it, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, Donny Cates is really pushing those symbiotes. I mean, between Great and Venom, and then I don't know, Ray, have you been reading Silver Surfer Black?
I read the first one.
I mean, they're definitely building up a lot with the symbiotes right now.
Yeah.
And so, as a larger symbiote story, maybe it's interesting. But like I said, because they're centering it around Carnage, and I guess the cult of Carnage.
Yep.
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
The Carnage. Carnage? Yeah, there's a new Carnage.
Hi, Tristan.
Crossover coming.
I have a question.
Oh no, number one.
What's the name of that?
Venom and Carnage fan. Get the young point of view.
Yeah.
We're all old men here.
I'm not sure who that is. Oh, was the toy at GameStop you saw? It was. Are you sure that wasn't like? Oh, okay. So it's some multi-limbed Carnage character.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it looks like Spider-Man.
And it looks like Spider-Man.
That's not the doppelganger, is it?
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I think I've seen like Venomized versions of different stuff. Like, what was it? Cut like a month or two ago. I think I saw a Funko Pop. It was like a Iron Man, and it was like Venomized or something.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of those Venomized stuff.
They do like those variants, yeah. Well, that's like the cover. Like this week, I got Captain Marvel, and like my guy was like, "Oh yeah, they didn't send me the regular copy, so I had to get the variant cover with like, you know."
Oh, what did you get?
It's a symbiote variant.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. It's funny, Phil. Every time you're mentioning a comic, like you mentioned Daredevil, you mentioned Hulk, and then you mentioned Captain Marvel. I'm looking right at them just as you mentioned them.
I know.
Because I read Captain Marvel as well. I thought that was pretty good. It was the start of a new arc. She's got this ongoing thing now. She seems to be suffering some sort of illness.
Oh yeah, she's getting weak and stuff. And yeah, I found it interesting. It's like, you know, somebody released to the public that she's half Kree, so you know,
she's now become public enemy number one. So
send her home.
I still don't get that whole idea.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, just the idea to reveal that she was secretly half Kree the whole time. I don't know. It just seems it never really doesn't gel with me. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Marvel kind of, I think, starting to rewrite history in order to make it kind of fit with the movies, maybe.
Well, that's what I was wondering if they were doing.
But it's not even in the movies. It's just
not yet, because we really didn't get into her parentage, and I mean, especially like her mother. There was no mention of like any kind of mother in that first movie. So,
I mean, really, they're just trying to make her Aquaman. Really.
Yeah, it was a
literally what it is. It's like, my father in New England, you know, found a beautiful alien creature who he decided to ship.
Oh, same as
how I got to be here.
Same as Namor as well. So,
yeah.
But this started, I think, from the Margaret Stoll run, which wasn't that long ago. I think it was a 5-parter, 6-parter.
Oh yeah, the Life of Captain Marvel.
Life of Captain Marvel, which is a really good.
It was a great
series. Really good series. So it kind of falls off the back of that. But I don't know, Phil, what do you reckon? I really enjoyed at the end as well, Minerva. There seems to be some sort of uneasy alliance there between the two.
Oh yeah, well, Dr. Minerva's like, you know, she's always about furthering the Kree agenda, and you know, Carol's like, well, we've always been enemies. She's like, well, yeah. Well, now I know you're half Cree. So
yeah. So then you're all right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could open up some possibilities.
Yeah. All right, should we wrap this up? I know we're probably keeping you up late.
No worries. Yeah, for sure. No, thanks for having me on. It's always great to chat comics with you guys.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, and Charlie and I have another show to do. So
no worries.
All right, so before we get out of here, Ray, tell people the podcast you're on, where they can catch you. And
yeah, sure. So I double barreled Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast, which is why I'm wearing this flashy tracksuit top. You can find us on Twitter at ITK Moon Knight, or on Facebook, facebook.com/ITK Moon Knight, or we have a Facebook group, and please join facebook.com/groups/ITK Moon Knight. I'm also on the Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast with Connor McKenna, and that's a really fun podcast. You can find us at LSK Podcast on Twitter, or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LSK Podcast. So yeah, hope to hear from you.
And everyone, I'm sure you're sick of hearing me say it, but yeah, follow us. Send your thoughts on anything we talked about today. We talked about everything, including the kitchen sink. Capes and Lunatics at gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Capes and Lunatics, at Capes Lunatics on Twitter. Follow Capes and Lunatics on Instagram. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Work in progress, capesandlunatics.org. And I'm announcing it here, brand new. I stole the idea off Ray here. We're going to have at the beginning of every week, I'm going to try to get out a weekly newsletter. It'll tell you everything that's hitting both the Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcasts every week. So go subscribe to that. I believe it's capesandlunatics.blog.home. Or is it home.blog? I don't know. I'll put it in the show notes.
I'll definitely be onto that, Phil. Don't worry, I'll be reading that.
All right, cool. And Charlie Esther, where can people talk to you?
Well, if you'd like to reach me in an old-fashioned email way, the way our moms and pops once did, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I got to do last night. At Charlie Esser, that's CharlieEsser. Look for the two E's in the middle for quality.
Stepped over the drop, dude.
Sorry, I forgot about the drop.
Thank you for joining us again this week, everyone, for Capes and Lunatics International. Everyone all international. All right, Ray, get ready to play the little part. Say Lunatics. All right, for another week, we've been the Capes
and Lunatics.
Sorry. You're good.
He's new here.
No, Lunatics. Yeah, we need to do the little whole part this week to say Lunatics and you didn't say fight me nerds or anything. Okay.
I think Charlie said that. I heard Charlie say that.
I did say that earlier, yeah.
Sorry, I can take care of that. Or Ray's here. Fight me nerds. All right, so yeah, but again, we'll keep your eyes peeled. Monday on YouTube, and then probably Tuesday on the podcast. Wolf and I are going to do a Comic-Con wrap-up special, so.
Awesome.
Get some more news.
Cool.
Thank you, Ray.